Welcome back. As we promised, we are going to cover together the last and final day of the runoff of the House of the Representatives elections taking place in 10 governorates after the Supreme Administrative Court cancelled the voting or the results in 10 governorates. And to shed more light on the whole issue, we are very much delighted to have with us live here in the studio our prominent guest, Dr. Islam Tharwat, our AI and IT professor and our political expert. Thank you very much for being with us, sir, and a very good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. Thanks.
Before going into details, sir, as I said in my intro, it's the runoff taking place in 10 governorates after the cancellation of 29 constituencies. How do you see the keenness of the state to preserve our democratic process and to guarantee that those who are going to represent the people in the coming House of Representatives, they do deserve and they are going to fulfill their very huge, big responsibilities?
Yes, sure, exactly. What's happening today is that it's a vital importance about the keenness of the state, about the results of the election. This kind of runoff, because there were some violation, of course, between some candidates and their campaign. So this is the clear message from the government and the state, the integrity of the elections, and to ensure that the citizens' intention about their election, their votes, their representative is vital important. There is no other important than the clearness, than the result, than the integrity. There's no kind of any permission for any violation of any security insurance or any kind of misuse or misbehaving. This is a clear message from the state, and this is exactly what the citizen needs to be aware of. There is another opportunity to them to count their votes, to select their representative in a very transparent, very clear way. So the message is clear. The integrity and to ensure the results is of vital importance, rather than anything, even the time, the procedure, the effort they are doing to make sure that every citizen and every vote is counted and is clear and transparent, and the results fully aware and representing the Egyptian citizens important.
And of course, this is also to say that we are not going to do it that fast and to convene that fast. No, the most important thing, despite all the expenses and despite all the time, to guarantee the integrity of the coming House of Representatives is the most important thing. Sir, how do you see the preparations ahead of this phase in specific?
A lot of preparations, a lot of efforts. We truly appreciate all the efforts were done among maybe about 2 months, even internally or outside. There are a lot of efforts, a lot of preparation, the campaigns, the rules, the procedures, the real-time monitoring and transparency with dialogue with all the community aspects. There is huge effort with all the participants, all the candidates, all the citizens, also the Supreme Council of their members. So there's a lot of preparation. Also there is a great respect of the laws and the regulations, and this is something important. Egypt is a great country, and we respect the laws, we respect our decisions. So there is a lot of effort from all the spectrum of these elections. It's much appreciated, and we truly believe that this kind of elections is a great representation of the democracy Egypt is having today.
And we are a state of law. But sir, let me go to your specialty for a while and to see your your impression first when you saw in any of the press conferences led by the NEA Executive Director, Councillor Benderi, talking with via video calls with our ambassadors all over the world to make sure that everything is okay and to receive on air any complaints.
Of course, I'm much grateful and enjoy the ability of the procedures to have some technological parts and to show that the online videos, of course, the online communication, the mobile application, the websites, and the information which are maybe available for all the people and all the citizens. However, because my specialty, I'd like to have more technological influence. I don't want to go to the e-voting, because the e-voting have a lot of maybe concerns even in the
very developed countries.
Yes,
I mean,
of course.
there were in the United States issues about that, and these, I mean, it's no secret. We all know about
and this is something strange, by the way, because I truly believe that technology could help the election, and to make sure it's more, the technology by definition is against corruption, and all of us, maybe those kind of election, however it's related the governance, the regulations, the procedures, we are trying to make sure that it's transparent, its integrity, its ability to reflect the citizens' witness. So the technology could be a very helpful tool in this matter. It's not by the way to have fully e-voting system, but we can rely on some technology. I don't know if we can at least replacing maybe the paper. You know, we can have just like voting machines maybe in the and to allow people to go and to select their preferred candidates electronic, like the ATM machines, like
or at least to have both ways.
Both ways, of course.
Both ways, at least to start having both ways. But you know, sir, yesterday in the press conference, which was held exactly at 9 p.m. Cairo local time via Councillor Binderi, he spoke about the website, and he spoke about the technological side of the coin, saying that you can easily know all about your committee, know about the whole process, and the whole process is not going to take more than 2 or 3 minutes by any means. How do you see this as also part and parcel of our voting process?
This is a great progress, by the way. We truly appreciate what's happening, especially because this kind of sectors, we usually use the technology in another maybe more mature sectors, like the financial sector, the banking sector, some other sectors. But to see this kind of technological advancement in the election process, it's much appreciated. We truly appreciate that. So having the websites, having the mobile application, the information, and also the procedures that allow the preparation. Of course, there are a lot of technological, maybe using the technology in the lists on the preparation of the candidate list or the citizen list, the locations, and all of. I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of technological influence in this election. I'd like to see more. This is what I think that
you would like to see more, but you as an expert,
I'm very satisfied with what's happening.
You're not afraid of the malwares or with the, cyber security now is an issue in itself, and only experts can speak about it and speak about its influence on the ground, and if it is going to be a double scissor weapon or it's going to be used in the perfect way. Which is which, sir?
It's risk management, by the way. There is some risks, of course, with the technology. We are aware of that, but the maturity and the level of awareness, we maybe 10 or 20 years ago, we weren't able to use the banking system and the automation in the banking system like today. We were afraid to use the ATM machine. I'm from the generation that
yes.
we're afraid. Yeah. No, I'd like to have my money in cash. I don't like to have any kind of relation with the ATM machine. I prefer to deal with the human. However, during the past 10 or 20 years, especially with the technology, with the advancement of the digital transformation in the Egyptian government, we believe in these systems. We rely on these systems. This is some kind of trust, and of course we have all the capabilities to support and to make sure that those kind of risks are maintained. We have our certified authorities. By the way, Egypt is classified one of the best countries around the globe in the cybersecurity portfolio. We were ranked one of the first A-star ranked. We didn't hear about any
continentally or worldwide, sir?
Worldwide. Okay. Worldwide. This is one of our achievements.
I wanted just to assure the piece of information to let the whole world know about that, and to let the whole world know about this issue or this field as one of the priorities in front of the state right now. But returning back to the election, sir, and to using technology or AI or whatever in the elections, sir. Now the use of mobile phones in recording what's going on around us and to prove something, and to be even used as a proof with documenting something or recording something. Do you see also this is for the best interest of this democratic procedure?
From my perspective, as of course we need to be fully aware about the laws and the regulations that govern this. But in my perspective, from the technological part, I truly believe this is something good, because having the real-time monitoring and the continuous monitoring, and to have some evidence about any violation, of course, is something, but it should be allowed only and only if with to be very aligned with the laws, the regulations. And I believe that Ministry of Interior maybe 2 or 3 months ago have their own unit to be able to get those videos and to those records and to identify, because there is some, we are really witnessing some fake videos during maybe with the AI, so we need to identify, to recognize.
I'm asking about this issue. Should we consider it as a positive sign or a negative one?
It's a risk, and I'd like to define the risk is about maybe to win more or lose more. This is my definition of risk, and the risk shouldn't be avoided, fully avoided. The risk should be managed.
But Dr. Islam, don't you think that mobile phones now made the media coverage easier in such occasions, and in our parliamentary elections in specific? I think the media coverage was really, I mean, great and on the spot. Using the new technologies made it easier?
Made it, of course, easier, and the media coverage is much appreciated as well on all the efforts. But I'd like to maybe to highlight the effort of the parties. By the way, I didn't see a lot of political parties which did a lot of effort to use the technology as well. It's not only the issue of the government and its responsibility, it's also common responsibility between the government and the state and the parties and the candidates themselves. I didn't realize that any campaigns with I think that I must have some applications from the parties to allow people to be aware of their programs, agenda, their plans and others. So I also have some concerns about the performance of the political Egyptian parties, about their use of the technology. They used to have some, I'd like to make it old-fashioned traditional campaigns, but of course I truly believe they need to improve themselves and to use the technology, because it will allow the people to know them more easier, more like the social media. I'd like to have social media for those kind of political communities.
They focused on that only with the expats. But here inside Egypt, they preferred, as you've mentioned, or as you named it, to the traditional way of conferences and gatherings, just to be, I mean, to face to face meet the voters or the people to speak about their programs and stuff like that. But you want to have both ways, sir?
Yes, we need to be aware, especially with the spectrum of the generation of the voters. Maybe this kind of procedures,
face-to-face meetings,
maybe with the 30s or 40s or 50s is much more easier and more familiar with them. But with the young generation, about the 20s maybe, and this kind of generation have
their own way,
and they digital by nature. They used to use the smartphone, they used to use the technology. By the way, even some kind of social media applications which we are using in our daily life, they ignore it now, like maybe the Facebook. They don't use the Facebook, and they have their own tools, they have their own communities. I think that part of the responsibility of the Egyptian party is to also to include those youth, because they are important and they are the future. They need to be fellow aware with our issues, with our challenges, with our responsibility. We need to include them. This is much important, and this should be seen as kind of maybe 15 years ago we didn't realize the importance of the social media with the Facebook, and from 15 years ago the Egyptian community didn't realize this kind of a change in the technology, and this kind of a change was affecting the whole community because we didn't realize it at the time.
But now the case is totally different.
Yes. The case is totally different now, but we need also to be fully aware with the new technology, the emerging technology, the AI technology, the blockchain technology, the virtual reality, the new platforms. I'm really sure that Minister of Communication and all the government is aware and doing a lot of effort, but it's not only the responsibility of the government. There is some human, the institution and the
private sector and
yes,
the
need to
NGOs.
do their responsibility.
Yeah, it's a common or a joint responsibility, as you've kindly mentioned, Dr. Islam. I really enjoyed our discussion. Thank you very much for your input, sir. Have a very good day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
well, by this we come to the end of our episode. Stay tuned on Nile TV International. Always for more. Many thanks for watching. This was Nirmina Abdurrahman.